The sun blazed down on Ouagadougou, the capital city of Burkina Faso. It was a very hot afternoon. President Ibrahim Traoré, a kind and thoughtful leader, was on his way to a big meeting. Important people from all over the world were coming to talk about how to make things better for Burkina Faso. President Traoré sat in his cool, comfortable car. He was thinking about his speech. He wanted to talk about how to help the children of his country. He knew that some children didn't have enough to eat, or a safe place to sleep, or a chance to go to school. He wanted to change that. The car drove through the busy streets of the city. People were walking, selling things, and going about their day. The president looked out the window, hoping he could find a way to make everyone's life a little bit brighter. He knew this meeting was important, and he was ready to speak for those who needed help the most. As the president's car turned a corner, he noticed something that made his heart sink. Near a pile of overflowing trash cans, a small boy was digging through the garbage. The boy was thin, and his clothes were torn and dirty. The sun beat down on him as he searched for something to eat. President Traoré felt a wave of sadness wash over him. He knew that many children in Burkina Faso struggled with poverty, but seeing it so clearly right in front of him was a shock. He couldn't just drive by and pretend he didn't see. He had to do something. He told his driver to stop the car. The guards looked surprised, but they obeyed. President Traoré opened the car door and stepped out into the heat. He walked toward the boy, his heart heavy with concern. The boy, startled, looked up with wide, frightened eyes. "Hello," President Traoré said gently, trying not to scare the boy. "What's your name?" The boy hesitated, then whispered, "Ali." "Ali," the president repeated kindly. "My name is Ibrahim Traoré. It's very hot out here, Ali. Would you like to come sit in my car for a little while? It's nice and cool inside." Ali looked at the president, then at the big, shiny car. He had never been so close to such a fancy car before. He was scared, but he was also curious. He slowly nodded his head. President Traoré smiled. "Come on," he said. He took Ali's small, dirty hand in his own and led him to the car. The guards opened the door, and Ali stepped inside, his eyes wide with wonder. The cool air conditioning felt amazing on his hot skin. He had never felt anything like it before. He sat down carefully on the soft leather seat, feeling a little bit like he was dreaming. President Traoré sat beside Ali. "Are you hungry, Ali?" he asked. Ali nodded shyly. He hadn't eaten a proper meal in a long time. The president smiled and spoke to his driver. Soon, a small box appeared. Inside were sandwiches, fruit, and a bottle of cool water. Ali's eyes widened. He had never seen so much food all at once. "This is for you, Ali," President Traoré said. "Eat as much as you like." Ali carefully took a sandwich and took a small bite. His eyes lit up. It was the most delicious thing he had ever tasted. He ate slowly, savoring every bite. While Ali ate, the president asked him about his life, his family, and his dreams. Ali told him about his struggles, his hopes, and his desire to go to school one day. The president listened patiently, his heart filled with sadness and a renewed determination to help children like Ali. He also asked one of the guards to find some clean clothes for Ali. Soon, Ali had a fresh shirt and shorts to change into. As Ali changed into the clean clothes, President Traoré had an idea. He realized that Ali's story was a powerful one. It showed the struggles that many children in Burkina Faso faced every day. He decided he wanted to share Ali's story with the important people at the meeting. He thought about his speech. He had planned to talk about the problems facing children, but now he wanted to do something more. He wanted to show them. He wanted to make them understand. "Ali," he said, "I'm going to a meeting with people who want to help our country. Would you be willing to come with me? I want to tell them about you and other children like you." Ali looked surprised. He had never been to a meeting before, but he trusted President Traoré. He nodded his head. "Yes," he said, "I want to help." The president smiled. He knew that Ali's presence would make a real difference. When they arrived at the meeting, Ali was nervous. So many important-looking people were there. They wore fancy clothes and spoke in different languages. He stayed close to President Traoré, feeling a little bit scared. President Traoré led Ali to the front of the room. He stood tall and proud, but he also held Ali's hand tightly to make him feel safe. The room became quiet as President Traoré began to speak. "Friends," he said, his voice strong and clear. "Today, I want to talk to you about something very important. The children of Burkina Faso." He paused and looked at Ali. "I want to introduce you to someone. This is Ali." He explained how he had met Ali, searching for food in the trash. He told them about Ali's dreams and his struggles. He said, "Ali is not just one boy. He represents all the children in our country who need our help." The delegates looked at Ali with sympathy and understanding. They began to realize the importance of what President Traoré was about to say. "That is why," President Traoré continued, "I am announcing a new plan called Future for All Children. This plan will make sure that every child in Burkina Faso has enough food to eat, a chance to go to school, and access to doctors and nurses when they are sick." He explained that the plan would provide meals at schools, build new classrooms, and train more doctors and nurses to care for children in even the most faraway villages. He spoke with passion and determination, his voice filled with hope. Ali listened carefully, his heart swelling with joy. He couldn't believe that the president was doing all of this for him and for all the other children who needed help. He felt a surge of gratitude toward President Traoré. He knew that his life and the lives of many others were about to change for the better. He looked up at the president and gave him a small smile. The president squeezed his hand in return. When President Traoré finished speaking, the room erupted in applause. The delegates were deeply moved by his words and by Ali's story. They understood that the Future for All Children plan was essential for the well-being of Burkina Faso. One by one, the delegates stood up to pledge their support. They promised money, supplies, and expertise to help make the plan a success. They were inspired by President Traoré's compassion and Ali's bravery. They knew that by working together, they could make a real difference in the lives of countless children. A woman from a faraway country promised to send books and school supplies. A man from another country offered to help build new hospitals and clinics. Everyone wanted to do their part. Ali watched in amazement as the delegates made their promises. He realized that President Traoré had not only changed his life, but had also inspired people from all over the world to help other children in need. He felt a sense of hope and excitement for the future. But President Traoré knew that the meeting was just the beginning. He wanted to see the problems firsthand and talk to the people who were struggling. So, in the days that followed, he visited local communities throughout Burkina Faso. He went to villages where the houses were made of mud and the children walked miles to school. He met families who didn't have enough food to eat and parents who worried about their children's health. He listened to their stories and learned about their challenges. He saw their resilience and their hope. He promised them that he would do everything he could to make their lives better. He held meetings under the shade of trees, listening intently as villagers spoke about their needs. He visited schools where the children were eager to learn, despite having so few resources. He saw mothers caring for their sick children with limited medicine. Each visit strengthened his resolve to make the Future for All Children plan a reality. In one small village, President Traoré met a kind woman named Fatima. Fatima had opened her small home to care for orphaned children in her community. She shared her food, her love, and her time with these vulnerable children, even though she had very little herself. President Traoré was deeply impressed by Fatima's generosity and compassion. He knew that she was a true hero. He made a promise to her and to the village. "Fatima," he said, "I'm going to make your home an official child support center. We will provide you with the resources you need to care for these children properly. We will build more rooms, bring in more food, and provide you with medicine and supplies. You are doing important work, and we want to help you." Fatima's eyes filled with tears of joy. She couldn't believe that her dream was coming true. The villagers cheered and celebrated, knowing that their children would now have a safe and loving place to grow up. News of President Traoré's kindness and his meeting with Ali spread like wildfire. People all over Burkina Faso, and soon the world, were talking about their story. Newspapers and television stations reported on the president's actions and his commitment to helping children in need. The story of Traoré and Ali went viral on the internet. People shared the story on social media, writing messages of support and admiration. They were inspired by President Traoré's compassion and Ali's resilience. They felt a renewed sense of hope that things could change for the better. The world was talking about child poverty in Burkina Faso and in other countries. People began to realize that it was everyone's responsibility to help children in need. Organizations and individuals started donating money and resources to support the Future for All Children plan. President Traoré and Ali became symbols of hope and change. Because of the attention, Ali was able to go to school for the first time. He loved learning and made many new friends. He studied hard and dreamed of becoming a doctor so he could help other children who were sick. He often visited Fatima's Child Support Center, playing with the younger children and helping them with their homework. He never forgot where he came from and always remembered the kindness that President Traoré had shown him. He also traveled with President Traoré to other countries to speak about the importance of helping children in need. He shared his story with world leaders and encouraged them to support the Future for All Children plan. He became a powerful voice for the voiceless, inspiring people of all ages to make a difference in the world. He knew that even small acts of kindness could have a big impact. The Future for All Children plan began to change lives all across Burkina Faso. Schools were built, providing children with a safe and welcoming place to learn. More doctors and nurses were trained, ensuring that children received the medical care they needed. Families were given food and resources to help them provide for their children. Fatima's Child Support Center flourished, providing a loving home for many orphaned children. Ali often visited and helped the younger children with their schoolwork. President Traoré continued to work tirelessly, traveling throughout the country and the world, advocating for the rights of children. He knew that there was still much work to be done, but he was encouraged by the progress that had been made. He believed that every child deserved a chance to reach their full potential, and he was determined to make that a reality. He never forgot Ali, and their friendship served as a constant reminder of the importance of kindness and compassion. Years later, Ali fulfilled his dream. He became Dr. Ali, a kind and dedicated doctor who worked at the local hospital. He never forgot his own difficult childhood and always treated his patients with compassion and respect. He often volunteered at Fatima's Child Support Center, providing medical care to the children and sharing his story of hope and resilience. He wanted to show them that anything is possible if you work hard and never give up on your dreams. One day, a young boy came to the hospital, sick and scared. Dr. Ali recognized the fear in his eyes, the same fear he had felt when he was searching for food in the trash. Dr. Ali took the boy under his care, providing him with the best possible treatment. He also told him his story, reminding him that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope. The boy recovered quickly and went on to live a healthy and happy life, inspired by Dr. Ali's example. And so, the cycle of kindness and compassion continued, spreading throughout Burkina Faso and beyond.